All right, guys. So we were just idling. You have to look at this first. We were just idling, talking, yada, 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 talking. And I looked out the graph in a place where there's not usually ever fish. And lo and behold, there's a lot of fish, but they're kind of spread out. So I'm gonna do what we call long line, and I took my plug, my crankbait, deep diving crankbait, threw it out there. There's a lot of fish right here, but they're pretty spread out. So I'm letting a bunch of line off. I'm trolling away from my bait. I'm letting a bunch of line off. And then I'm gonna get down here about to the point where I run out of fish. You know, I stopped seeing fish on the graph, which we're still going, and I'm still seeing fish, so. And actually we're getting down off the break and there's even more. I'm not for sure if those are bass or not. So I engage my reel, click the reel handle over, engage my reel, and we'll turn around. I want to be facing back at the bait, and then I'm going to start reeling. And so what this is going to allow me to do, some tournaments they don't let you do this, but when you're just out for fun like we are today, this allows you to cover just an immense amount of ground with your bait. You know what I mean? Like I got 200 yards of line out. Maybe not 200 yards, but I got a lot of line out there. And I'm not really doing it in this aspect to get down real deep. Like some of those, like, you know, East Tennessee lakes like Douglas or someplace like that, where they long line to be able to get, there he is, where they long line to be able to get their bait down really deep. I'm just trying to cover water. As you can see, it didn't take very long, and I got one on too. I don't think it's a great big one, but it's certainly a fish. Actually, I think he just came off. You're covering more ground. You know what I mean? So when you get a school of fish that's spread out over a couple of 100 yards, like it would take forever because, you know, 17 feet deep, a deep diving crankbait, and the length of a cast, yeah, I can get it to 17 feet, but it's only in 17 feet for 10 feet, 20 feet. Where this, I'm gonna be in 17 feet through all these spread out fish for 100 yards. Just keeping your bait in a strike zone longer. Let's try it again. We're gonna go back this way. So I'm gonna throw it out. Doesn't really matter how far you throw it. And then I'm gonna kick the trolling motor up. And once again, you see what's going on as I'm kicking the trolling motor up? We're just spooling line off. Spooling line off, and we'll get up here to the other end of it. We'll try it again. So we let all the line out. Not all the line, but we got all the way to the other side of the fish. Now I want to turn around and see, I'm going to start cranking. I'm going to turn, I always like to turn the boat around, get the boat facing back in the right direction. That's a decent fish. Not a giant, but sometimes those fish, they want a crankbait. Like they just, you know, you could throw a Carolina rig or something like that out there, and let's let this guy go real quick. You could throw a Carolina rig or something like that out there and drag it through there and pick up those fish. And sure, you can, absolutely. If they were wanting to bite something slow like that, that's what I would be doing. But some days they just want the plug, and this long lining technique, that's how you can cover that much water and make it efficient. Because if you're not efficient, you're not fishing correctly.